had the individual conversations with these folks as of yet. And the last thing that we want to do right now is for people to hear that on the news, right, or online. So we want to be able to have that conversation with individual employees if we get to that point, if those positions are reduced. And then we said, well, you know, we need to start taking a look at some school-based position reductions. Not something we've done for quite some time, certainly not something we did last year. We asked principals to take a look at their budgets and make about a 5% reduction on their budgets. And ultimately, when you have a school, you have maybe a few dollars here and there that are supplies and art supplies and those sorts of things that maybe you can reduce to some extent. But the reality is the vast majority of our expenditures are teachers, instructional positions. And so you can see there ultimately where we have a plan to make significant reductions in instructional positions throughout the division. Now, this is not something that should be taken lightly. This is something that will absolutely impact our students on an every single day basis. And I think that we as a community have to reflect on the fact of the investments that we need to make. On the other side of the screen there, on the right side, you'll see some other decisions and policy decisions that the school board has taken a look at and has included, and that includes some use of one-time money for next year. Again, that's not a sustainable plan for the long run, but we're trying to sort of have this soft landing for next year to the best extent we can. But in total, we're talking about potentially 103 positions between schools and the division. So I'm going to say that again, 103 positions. That is absolutely devastating and monumental to the impact on our students.
Okay, and as Dr. Woodick has said, we did meet in closed session with school board, because I know there's questions are if these are vacancies, if these are other positions. These are people. They are people. We have names and things like that, and it is a bad place to be right now in terms of the work. What's really sad about this is we're at a point where we've heard our school board say, focus on academics and do the things that you need to do for academics. So we've been doing that. And as Ms. Pugh showed, the kids are coming back. They're making the progress that they need to get back on grade level. You'll see higher scores at the high school level. The second thing that we heard our school board say over time is focus on behavior. Let's make the classrooms a place where the teachers don't have to struggle. Help them have immediate solutions to some of the challenges that they're facing so that the children in their classroom, they can teach those kids while we work with the other children to make decisions. And you heard Dr. Brown talk about LCS Restore, things that we've put in place. We don't want to suspend our kids and just put them on at home, possibly unsupervised. And they're not going to make any different choices by being at home than they will by being in our LCS Restore program, where we can really work on that. So we have done that. We've heard our school board say, we need to be competitive. We need to get our salaries up. We need a plan, a long-term plan for how we're going to be competitive. And we've done that. We've worked with school boards to really boost up the salary, not only for the teaching staff, but for our classified staff by moving to $15 an hour before the state required it. And let's face it, $15 an hour is not a lot. So I'm not bragging about that. It's one small step along the continuum. So those are the things that we want to continue to do. The investment in CTE and really doing the workforce piece. Right here in this building, maybe last week, I guess it was on Pi Day, March 14th, this building was packed with businesses and teachers. Businesses and teachers. Our middle school teachers and staff came out and worked with local businesses, and the whole purpose of that event, that Pi event, is here's what I do. You're preparing my next workforce. How can we work together? How can I come into your classroom and enrich your lessons, your students, so that we, right here in Lynchburg, have the workforce that we need? Again, that's another one of those long-term investments that we have been working on. And we're willing to do the hard work and make the cuts necessary to get us there, but we cannot do it alone. And the community has also said to us that they are very invested in their schools, and they want to see us move forward with the excellence and innovation that we have talked about. So, and close us out with this last slide before we transition to the question and answer session.
Well, if you followed the school board meetings, you know that the board has bounced back and forth on several occasions with the amount we wanted to request from the city for their portion of our funding. What we've settled on is to request from you $43.7 million. It's a bit more than we've had from the city in several years now. I think one of the things that the board feels most strongly about is LCS Restore. If we stop supporting that, not only will we lose, of course, it will save us a little bit of money, but it's going to cost us a lot because, as was pointed out, there's about $2 million in grant money that comes in with that. If we stop funding it, we lose that $2 million. So the board as a whole, I think, feels quite strongly that that's one of the most significant things we can do to help our students improve. So that's pretty much where this number is coming from and why it's higher than what a flat funding amount would be. Also, we still don't know the final set of numbers we're going to get from the state. Every couple days we get a little bit more news about it swinging this way and that way. There has been some recent new information in the last couple days, which the staff have not been able to incorporate into this because it's just coming too fast at us. This is based on the governor's budget.